yes, we have ourselves some opening credits. And everything's not working. Let's get rid of that. We have ourselves opening credits, but yet I still make a complete arse of starting the show. How you doing, everyone? It's Billy Kirkwood here from the, I don't know what's going on today, from the Pink and Blue coupled at Parts Unknown. I hope you're doing very well. Before we kick things off, it's great to have you with us tonight. If you want to let your pals know what's going on, make sure to share the link, let people know that we're online. We are talking to our wonderful guest, Jen Louise. She's going to be talking to us in just a couple of minutes. But first of all, let's welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the housewife's favourite. It is Simon Cassidy. Simon, how the devil are you?
Well, good evening. That is the first time I've been called the housewife's favourite. I'm not even 100% sure what that means, but I'm on board.
I think it means you like a better wear catalogue. Everyone's had a wee licking a thumb. I don't know. Is that what that means? We're not meant to lick anything.
Stop putting your hands in your mouth, Billy.
I'd say, oh, don't worry. I am completely hand sanitized. I have various different bottles of it. Oh no, it's owl piss. How are you, Simon?
I am very well, Billy. How are you getting on?
I'm good. Simon, we've got a little bit of business before we kick things off. First of all, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And I think it goes without saying that everyone here in Insane Championship Wrestling and in the wrestling community want to give our heartfelt condolence to not only the fans, but the family of Shad Gaspar, who sadly, we learned only a couple of days ago had lost his life. We're mentioning that right at the top. We're all about positivity here at ICW, and we know that he has friends in the UK community as well of pro wrestling. We know our pals down at What Culture, they worked with them last year, and it was quite hard for them. And we were very, very sad to hear about the news, particularly under these circumstances. Simon, it's a real tragedy.
Yeah, it's absolutely heartbreaking. And I know a lot of the guys down at Discovery Wrestling, they had worked with him as well. Just by all accounts, just an absolute gentleman.
Yeah,
and no one seems to have a bad word to say about him. And I think to go out that way, like, not to put too much of a down on it, but literally saving your son's life.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
What a complete hero. And again, we want to give, it's a hard one to kick off the show. Everyone's probably going, where's the laughing at the jokes? We want to get that out of the way just now, because really, it's I don't think it goes without saying, but hey, I'm just a comedian that talks for a living, but I'm a part of this community, and I know the boys, they feel it very hard as well, the boys and girls, and we just want to give our fans and the condolences as well to his family. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Simon, let's get on to some cheery chat first of all.
Yes, let's.
I am delighted we've got our guest on with us today. Do you know that? Because she is probably everyone says she's so nice, but I know she's one of the most ruthless, cold-hearted. She's and I can see her in the green room, Liz, and I can see her right now. She's got a voodoo doll. Simon, she's got a fucking voodoo doll. We are joined by our broadcast colleague. It's so nice to get to talk to her, because we have not actually seen her since the start of March.
No, since my birthday.
Since your birthday. Oh God, yeah. Simon, happy birthday, 47. Shall we get
I'm wearing it well.
But Simon, you got to do the introduction, sir.
Oh, I've never introduced Jen.
You haven't? She's finally. Here we go. Mr. Cassidy, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, making her way into the Lockdown studio, she is the First Lady of ICW, one half of Team Lovable. This is Jen Louise!
Yes!
Oh my gosh, I marked out for that!
Everyone, I think it's probably the biggest thing that we can't give you any money, but it's certainly the biggest thing we can give you is certainly the Simon Cassidy introduction. Simon, I don't know why you're not on Cameo doing that. Did you see the state of Buff Bagwell? Get yourself on Cameo right now.
Well, I saw Bruce Buffer's offering to do it for folk now, and I'm not gonna lie, I nearly got one.
Who is Bruce Buffer?
How much is he? Do you know?
How dare you? I've just given you the best. Like, literally, not even a breath has passed. So my neighbours are still wondering what the hell that noise was, and you're already eyeing up Buffer. Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Jen. See, this is just what I was talking. Jen, it is probably go any further. It is so amazing to see you. Like I say, loads of love for you already in the chats. Listen, before we kick off, if you have any questions for Jen, it could be anything. It could be anything generally from the world of pro wrestling, because it's a phrase we don't get to use very often. But we're all big massive marks in this room here tonight. So it is. Although I'm not a member of team. What did you say your wee team was again?
Team Lovable, I believe.
Team Lovable, mate. Tonight, this is team fucking cute as fuck. That's what this is tonight. Right? That's what this is tonight. We're a faction. I'm the manager.
Jen's the muscle. goes without saying.
But if you do have any questions, please put them in the comments below. You can also, if you're on YouTube, you can hit us up with a super chat question. What happens is you make a small donation to helping us do this here with ICW Lockdown, and the questions come straight through to me in the studio. There's already people getting questions through. Thank you very much. We're going to get to them as much as we can. I just want the opportunity to get to talk to you because it's fucking amazing.
Like laughing, sorry to interject there, but I just can't stop thinking of us now as like TNA. So Billy, you're trash. You're guest Simon, and I'm Big Albert.
Well, we all know in the pre-show shaving ritual that we have to go through. Every single, you know what you're like when you walk up and you go, "Fucking shave my arms," and you go, "All right." How have you been doing during lockdown, pal? Let's get out of the way. How have you been doing during lockdown?
I've been okay. Like it's been, I'm not going to lie, it's been like a bit of a bumpy road. Like I've had a few ups and downs and things, but see, like the past couple of weeks, I think I've kind of had like a wee realization that, this is how it is now, and just to kind of like go with it, like take every day as it comes. And I think I was too busy thinking about, when can I go back to work? Like, when can we get back to shows? When can we do this, that, and the other thing? And my head was too in the future. But I think the kind of trick is to just stay really present and just take it like as that. But it's much better, thanks. How are you getting on?
I'm turning into a BG slowly but surely. I'm like Midian if he got his life in order for a while. It's just, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I started off with a mustache. I've now got a beard again. I fucking no idea, man. And I'm stuck in.
I miss the mustache.
I miss the mustache.
The mustache is good.
Look at the size of that wine glass. Are you sure you're all right? This is actually an intervention, Jen.
Do you know what? I think I need one.
There's nobody watching.
I mean, I like the fact that the idea of doing this show has terrified you so much that you're on the wine.
I know. I'm like, that's not a secret, by the way. Like, I'm like shaking. I'm so anxious.
It's got to be somewhere. I know for a fact Veronica will be very, very proud. She will be very, very proud.
We know it's very rude to make a lady drink alone. So, cheers, Jen.
Oh, Simon, thank you.
Anja, I'll just have my protein shake.
That means you are definitely the Trish of this operation, then.
I'm the Trish, mate. You should see my thighs. Remember when Trish had pure banging like Clydesdale thighs when she first came into WWE?
Yes, I do.
First time I saw her tight, just like, well, I don't know what to think of myself now. Look at those
thighs. But you know, the worst part is all I thought about was like, because her gear did do that flary thing at the bottom. So I was like, yeah, it's kind of Clydesdale-y.
Kind of hoof-like. I'm glad. Please don't. We're already off to a belter. Before we get into it, obviously ICW, we're hoping to be back with shows as soon as we can. We're still providing loads of content and what have you. What are you enjoying in wrestling just now? Because there is still wrestling going on around the planet. Did you enjoy WrestleMania?
Oh, loved it. Like, and you know, the thing is like I was supposed to be there this year and it was going to be my first WrestleMania. So I know, right? So I was like, right, I thought it was going to be I was devastated, like absolutely devastated. And I did have a wee think because the amount of people that were messaging me like, oh, this is the worst. Like for you, especially because it was your first one, you're going to hate this. And I was like, do you know what? Give it the benefit of the doubt because they've made the decision for our safety. So I appreciated that. And the fact that they were still putting something on, and especially over 2 nights to make it so much easier to watch. I was like, okay, give it a chance. And I ended up loving it. Like, loving it.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Do you know who my favorite wrestler is in the world right now?
Hey.
It's Asuka.
Oh,
absolutely.
I even subscribe to Asuka's YouTube channel, Kana-chan TV. My kids love it. She's fucking amazing.
I don't understand half of what's happening, but I love it.
I was going to say, what's even on that channel?
She made French toast the other day. She tends to eat. All Asuka seems to do is eat and hurt people. Who's ready for Asuka? Asuka's dinner is ready for Asuka. It's really good.
I love it. The Kabuki Warriors for me are just absolutely like they are the top like of the game right now in WWE. They're so good. Like good.
And did you enjoy Money in the Bank?
Again, loved it. I loved how I know there was a lot of criticism for it about how it wasn't wrestling and it was too comedy and this and that. But I think it was a really smart move because in this stage, like you need an absolute comic relief moment. So I think that's the best way to do it. And I thought they did an amazing job. I also was absolutely marking out for seeing inside the headquarters. Like,
yes. I mean, that's only the third or fourth time I've been inside there. But do you know, it was me. I put up Mr. McMahon's large skull and he's got his wall. The guy's got a fucking dinosaur in his office, like an actual dinosaur skull.
Like, do you think it's real? Like, I was thinking, is it?
I think so. I think actually Vince McMahon knocked the fuck out of a dinosaur and took the time.
I do reckon that if anyone could pull it off, it's Vince.
I think it's Vince.
I reckon if anyone could source and hang dinosaur remains, it'd be Vince.
I thought you were talking about battering a dinosaur, and I was like, I don't think he could do that when it's a T-Rex.
But couldn't he? But couldn't he?
Do you know
that's the question you need to ask.
The only thing that annoyed me about Money in the Bank, was the Doink cameo. Hated it.
I don't understand it in the slightest. Like, why would you want to play a chair?
Well, it wasn't Doink. It wasn't Doink's music. It wasn't Doink's makeup. It didn't even look like fucking Doink. Fucking absolutely annoyed the piss out of me. Absolutely.
I thought it was Frank the Clown at first. And I was a bit like, what's Frank there? What's going on?
Jen, who's Frank the Clown?
Frank the Clown's Noelle Foley's boyfriend. He's also a manager in...
Sorry, God. In my mind, I was about to go, see if you guys had went as the clown from It. I was about to go, I got his name fucking wrong.
Oh, no, that's Pennywise.
I thought it was Pennywise for a second, and I'm like, oh, fuck that up.
Imagine Big Frank in the gutters. He's not scary.
That's a very different movie.
Big Frank in the gutters. I think I watched that porn. Right. Before we go any further, let's get some questions and then we'll talk a bit more wrestling, shall we? First of all, lots of questions coming in. Thank you again. Lots of ones in the super chat over on YouTube. I'm going to try and get to as many as we can. Blah, 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 blah. Please excuse me while I find them all. All right. Our first one of the night. If you could interview any wrestler from any time period, who would you choose and what would you ask them?
From any time period, and what would I ask them? Do you know what? I would actually love to interview Kurt Angle from like back in the Attitude Era days, like when he was doing like his pure comedy gimmick with like Stone Cold. I don't have a clue what I would ask them. In fact, I actually think it would probably be more beneficial to just not ask them something, but just to watch whatever shenanigans played out, like just by being there. Like, like that was my favorite time. And honestly, just I watched back all those like a lot of those segments recently. Yeah. And just Kurt Angle is like I never at the time I never appreciated how much of a comedy genius he is. And I think I would have to go back to that time and definitely get involved in the kind of Mr. McMahon Stone Cold Kurt Angle thing.
Yeah.
Do you know
I think the thing is like because he is an Olympic gold medalist and like a legit badass. The fact that that's the direction his character went is insane. Like, and you don't really appreciate it at the time, because I think at the time, certainly the age I was, you just looked at it and went, "Oh, so annoying." Like Kurt Angle, like, oh, but looking back now, it's like, oh.
I know, it's chef's kiss. It's so good.
And saying that though, there's not many characters that can go from being a bumbling to being a legitimate world champion to being comedy to being a fucking bad. I mean, there's not many wrestlers that come back from the I mean, Heath Slater's not in a gum shield tomorrow and not an indie, and that's not a go at Heath Slater, but it's like, man, that would take a while to get that working.
I wonder if maybe that's because he had the legitimacy of the Olympic gold medals when he went in. Do you think that's what helped him? And maybe
I bet you Kurt got tested at every opportunity. It's a shame. I mean, he only made one appearance for us here in ICW. He made a couple of appearances, of course, up and down the UK for other companies. But oh man, I'm so glad we got him when we did, because literally we got Kurt on that final run, that final run. And no disrespect to his time spent in WWE, but you know, I think it would be unfair of us to say otherwise. Right, I want to ask you about this interviewing wise, because how many years have you been with ICW now, Jenna? It's about 4 or 5, maybe at a push.
5 now, I think. It's 2000 in fact, it's been 5. It was 2015. It was Baramania. My first show.
Oh, man, I fucking loved Baramanias.
I missed it so much.
Yes, yeah. How is the ride been for you? I've got to ask.
It's been, honestly, it's just been wild. Like, first of all, it doesn't feel like 5 years whatsoever. I still feel kind of new whenever I'm there. It's strange. Like, it's all, I don't know if it's just the nature of the business. Like, it's always changing. And so I always kind of feel like I'm, not on the outside, not at all, actually. If anything, it's like a huge family and I feel so involved in it. But it's just, I feel as if there's always something, and it's like, like I need to catch up with, do you know? It's amazing. I love it. It's been crazy. I've had like the best experiences. I've had the worst experiences. It's been wild. Like, no show is the same. So you can't.
What was the genesis of your love of wrestling? Because you came into ICW and just this huge wrestling fan, kind of like, and I'm not using even a slight comparison, but I've been a wrestling fan all my life. You came in with just this wealth of knowledge and this passion and this understanding. Where did your love of pro wrestling start?
Oh, right. See, like, I'm like very typical of like my age group, where it was very staggered, and like, you know, you started as a kid and you were so invested, so in love with it, and then you felt like everyone had that kind of fall away period, like after everything started getting a wee bit PG, and then came back to it. So I think the first, like, it was about 1998 when I started watching. So I would have been, to give away my age, I would have been 11. Wait, did I say 88 or 98?
98.
We'll go with whatever your actual age is, right? There it is. I fucking knew it. She's older than she's been saying. Get her out, retire, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame.
I was like, oh my God, did I just say that I'm 43? Because I'm not. I'm 33.
Yeah.
Put the wine down, Jennifer.
You realise, for anyone that hadn't quickly done that mental math, you have now just told everyone how old you are.
Oh.
For anyone who hadn't done the math of how long ago 1988 was.
Right. I'm 33. Anyway, I was 11 when I started watching.
Fucking listen, I lost, a lot of folk lost their mind the other day when I pointed out I'm 40. I'm fucking 40.
Believe that.
Cheers, sweetheart. You don't even look a day over 32.
I think you're working us all.
Could be, mate. Who knows? I'm just a trainee. Actually, what happened is Leighton Buzzard. I'm actually, you know, the movie Looper. I'm Leighton Buzzard from the future.
Yeah, I could see that, by the way.
Actually, what it is, I'm Leighton Buzzard, and I come back because I win the Royal Rumble. No, never mind. So the package.
Why did you go to 2020?
You've gone through this sort of period, and then you've came back to wrestling. So what was it that hooked you back in? What was it that hooked you back in?
I won't lie. It was what hooked me back in. So I fell away from it, and I think that was just growing up basically, and going to like college and uni, and it wasn't cool then to like say that you were into wrestling. So I just kind of like, music became my focus in life. So I came really into music and gigs and bands. However, like when I moved into my own flat when I was like 18, I obviously didn't have like Sky or anything, so it was kind of impossible to watch. And then when Freeview like came in, that sounds really bad because I feel as if Freeview should have always been there, but it didn't. It came in when I was like living on my own, and Challenge TV started running TNA.
TNA, yeah.
Oh.
So I was like, oh my goodness, and it was flicking through things, and then I saw like TNA Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling, and I was like, interesting, and I was like, why not for a lark? Like literally put it on. And who was the first person I see but the blooming Dudleys? And I was like, I know them. And then that was me. Like I would like on the night, like or whatever night it was a Thursday, I think it was. And then it would repeat on a Tuesday, I think. Yeah. So I would watch that, and just like it was like the Dudleys, it was Kurt Angle, it was so many people that I was like, where on earth? Like Mickey James, Victoria, or she was Tara back then, all these names when I was like, this is amazing. So I started watching that, but then I didn't get back into WWE until I started. It was a boy. I was seeing a boy who was like a proper like closet wrestling fan and didn't tell me for so long. Like we were going out for months, and then he was round at my house, and we were flicking the channels, and TNA came on, and I was like, do you mind like if I just quickly switch this on? And he was
my God.
Well, this is it. You'd thinking that I was like blooming Naomi Campbell sitting next to him. He was like, who's this?
he's like, I don't know you anymore. When he left. So
I am a Monday Night Raw man and nothing else. Good day.
Well, this was it. That was it. So he got me back into WWE.
Oh wow! And so who was a stand-up for you in WWE round about then?
Do you know what? Round about then, like Ziggler was like, I loved Ziggler like at the time. When I kind of got back into it, I'll tell you who was a standout, but for a heel reason, and who I literally was like, I cannot stand this person, and it was The Miz. And I was vehemently, I mean, you know me, I don't tend to dislike an awful lot, but he made me raging. I was anti-Miz.
All right, well, I tell you what, let's jump into a couple more questions. Please keep them coming thick and fast. You can do that over in the YouTube. There's the super chat function, boom, that bounces it straight through to here, or you can put it in the comments. We're going to try and get through as many as we can, but we're going to bounce back and forth, like keep things moving here in ICW. Here's another good question for you. This is in from David Ferguson. Simon, would you like to read this bad boy out?
Out of the expletive ton of backstage interviews you have done, what has been your favourite / most memorable?
Do you know one I loved? Was after it was Baromania. Was it Baromania? It was a Baromania. It wasn't. It might have been Baromania 2 or 3. I can't remember, but it was Grado. I spoke to Grado after the Grado Renfrew. Was that Baromania? Was that Baromania?
Yeah, Grado Renfrew. Yeah.
And I spoke to Grado, and it was just when he was about to go over to TNA and start doing loads of stuff properly with TNA, and I just loved that interview because it was so candid, and it was really like that. Obviously, that feud was massive at the time, and then he gave this really candid interview, and it just I don't know, it kind of struck me like as an actual. I don't want to say genuine because everything is really genuine the way people speak today, but it's, you never really see a lot of defeat in somebody. And like, I got that from him, and especially somebody like him who's just this larger than life, like, exuberant character. And I was like, oh, I'd never seen that. So that was like a bit.
Do you know, it shows you what a brilliant performer Grado is, and I'm not saying it because we're all pals and we work with him, but for a performer to show vulnerability makes just such a, because it means you're human and you care, man, and that's what I still get excited about with pro wrestling even now. You get fucking make us care, man. We'll follow you to the fucking top of the mountain.
And I think that is the thing with Grado. He tends to get pigeonholed as a comedy wrestler, but he's so capable of making you go from one extreme to the other. Like, you can be absolutely rolling on the floor laughing, to then he'll break your heart. Like, he will absolutely leave you devastated if he wants to.
I know. Like, and the thing is like, that I think is amazing is I don't even think he really realizes how good he is at that. No. And that's what's even more charming about it, and why you rally behind him is because it's just, he's just very heart in his sleeve. Love it.
Yeah, completely. We've got another question for you. It's all the way from New Zealand, actually, which is weird because I've literally just been talking to my brother who's in New Zealand about 2 minutes ago. So, but it's not him. He despises wrestling, and that's why he's the middle child.
I thought you said he despises me, and I was about to cry.
No. He doesn't despise you. He wouldn't understand the concept of what you even are. Let's go with this. Hugh Janice, who is the best heel in wrestling and why is it Jay White? It's a good question. Thank you very much, Hugh. Do you know, I will say the one thing is Jay White's a guy that I would like. Obviously, the majority of his work is over in New Japan, but I would love to see him in one of the Western companies, particularly AEW, but I would love to see him going up against someone like Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw. Let's make that happen, or in him giving Cena a retirement run. Who knows?
Could you imagine?
I don't book it.
He's amazing. Like, don't get me wrong. I think, is he the best heel in the world?
I'll rephrase it. Who's the best heel in wrestling, and why is it Rampage Brown? Why?
I love him. You know that Rampage will always be babyface to me.
One of my favorite little end things in ICW is that Jen Louise wants to be Rampage Brown's pal so bad, and he just is confused by the concept of it.
That's not even a work. That's true.
Oh, really?
I'm like, please be my friend. You're so cool.
I'll be honest with you. I think he's getting the fear. I think he's getting the fear.
I think I've come on a wee bit too strong.
I mean, when you walk up to someone and say, please, please, please be my friend, it's a little forward, Jen. A little forward. Yeah. Maybe try hello next time.
I was going to say, it's never worked for me before. Where did Billy go?
I don't know.
Oh, no! It's just us!
This is weird. Purely because Billy has all the controls.
Go on, keep it
going. Oh, wait.
He's back.
Do you get the fear for a second? Sorry, I didn't beg your pardon. I am legitimately... Calm down, Jen. Everything's going to be okay. Calm down.
So, legit,
part of me thought that you were going to bring Rampage out, and I was like, no!
Oh my god! I see if I can open up another window and it'd be Rampage Brown. Just being dead confused, like, what the fuck am I doing here? I know he doesn't talk like that, but I won't do his real voice. He scares me.
Your brain goes to some bewildering places. Like, a technical glitch, and you've gone, oh my god, it's Rampage Brown.
Right. You can tell I watched too much Surprise as a child. So
what a fucking reference! What a fucking reference!
You want to know something really funny? That's the third time I've mentioned Cilla Black today as well.
Why?
The thing is, right, and for anybody watching, I honestly adore working with you. I'm not just saying it. Not only have you been such a pal, but I adore working with you. We started opening the shows about a year and a half ago, and I tell you, you've put up with so much of my crap. It is unbelievable. Right. I was getting out of the way because so many people have spoken about the bloody hand.
I get pure PTSD. Look at
Do you know the thing is, I tell you what, right at the end, when we're all signing off, stay tuned to the end, because for the first time ever, right, I'm actually going to play the off-air version of what happened.
No.
I've got it. I had to trim it down from 10 minutes, but you can actually see right at the end, because you were a fucking lifesaver, because I was fucking gone. What I thought was going to pop Simon and maybe pop you a wee bit nearly fucking derailed the show. And to this day, I apologize to everyone backstage because it was bullshit from me. But you saved my bacon that night. Because
I keep joking, Billy. I was just like, please. Like, normally, like, for anyone that doesn't know this, is I speak out doing those intros, and Billy really does have to hold my hand, for want of a better phrase, right now. But like,
his tiny hand.
maybe that'll calm me down, holding the wee hand in my pocket.
You want to know the worst thing is, I've only got one left. I don't know what I've done to the other one. But if an ICW fan will turn up at a stand-up show, I will do everything within my power to get one joke or one reference in. Like I've even literally went right at the end of the show, right? I've been Billy Kirkwood, good night, and you've heard a fan go, yes, we had like that right at the end of a set.
Honestly, my face hurt so much from that, because I was like, I couldn't stop smiling, and then I was like, I know we need to move it on, because I was like, poor Duncan, Scott, and Dallas will be going bananas in the back, and I was like, I don't know what to do.
If you get a chance to watch the clip, right? In fact, while you're here, do you want to see the 30-second edit?
Yes.
Right. This is the version they put out. This is the version that's on the front of the show. Right. I can't even believe we're showing this. So very, very quickly. Oh my God. Right. Let's do this. Here it is. This should be the 30-second version. And you can see Jed being just a superstar. Hang on a second, guys. Here we go.
I'm Billy Kirkwood here with Louise.
Ollie, we have the most exciting night of pro wrestling ahead of us. We are nearly at the square goal.
Oh yes, we are on the road to the square goal. It's nice to hear, ladies and gentlemen.
The show's starting.
I can't wait. This is ICW.
What you don't see is right at the end, you literally put your hand on my shoulder as if like, oh, well done, you. You give me like a squeeze, like, oh, son, because I was fucking gone in a way that I've never been gone before. So
You were crying and everything. Like, you could, like, it was the funniest thing is just how, like, because you could see that you were so frustrated, but you just couldn't stop laughing. And I was like, I don't know what to do with you.
well, I tell you what, we'll watch it. Lots of people asking questions about the wee hands. I'll put the whole thing on at the end, and you can see what a superstar Jen is. Because I'd honestly, there's like 4 goes, and I practically give up. I'll just practically give up and go. I'll get my shit, and I'll just fucking leave. Because the thing is, right. I've loved working with you because you're so honest and you're so genuine, and I'm not just saying it to butter you up as you're here. We've had some big shows that we've had to open together, and they're always such a blast. But bless you, you're always like, "Oh, I'm dead nervous. Tell you what, Jen, come out with your shoes in your hand and pretend you're pissed." Aye, great. You always throw yourself into with such enthusiasm into the start of the shows. You're always fighting these. You're always telling me how nervous you are. But as soon as that camera's gone, bang, you're good to go, Jen. How do you manage it?
Well, sorry to cut you off, but that actually reminds me of something. Like, a lot of people won't know, like, Jen filled in on a few family shows as a ring announcer.
That's right.
And I think everyone thought you were going to be great. And by all accounts, regardless of what you say, apparently you were quite good at it. But I messaged you after one show and went like, "Oh, PBW tonight, how did you get on?" And I just get this message back from me going, "I'm never doing that again. I can't." It's like, and I don't get why. Because like I see you at the start of the show holding it together like that, and it seems such a natural fit.
No. like those family shows, honestly, even thinking about it, I'm like, my heart, like I don't know if it's heartburn from the wine or if it's like some sort of anxiety attack, but legit, I was like, you should have seen the nick of me after those shows. Like I went off, like finished that show, and I just went back and I burst into tears. And all the boys, and the thing is, like all the boys in the back were just like, "Uh-oh, like what? We weren't expecting a crying Jen. What do we do?" And I was like, "I never," and it was that kind of crying, and I was like, "I never want to do that again." And then it was like, "Oh man, I've already committed saying I was going to do another one." Simon, you're never allowed a holiday again.
I think after this, none of us will ever take a holiday again. I mean, opening the shows, we've had so many. Like, I remember the square goals. You're coming out with your shoes in your hand and being pissed. I remember that. We've had some hard ones as well. I mean, obviously, if you remember, and I'm not bringing it down because what a celebration it was that night. It was the night for Adrian as well. We all remember that. And that was a hard one that night. We held each other up that night because there's no two ways about it. The three of us were in bits before the start of the show. I don't think it goes without saying. So you've come through all these things and you're doing pretty well. And I always appreciate that night in particular because man, that was hard. That was hard that night. But God, what a celebration it was! Amazing. What tribute.
They've done an amazing job on that video package and stuff. And to be fair, you like how you guys held the whole night. Like the beauty of it is I go out there, I'm there for 2 minutes, say a couple of words, and then that's me gone. Like I can go and be backstage. You guys, props to you for doing that.
But then you were backstage last night, and that's what I want to get to. The job you do, interviewing people, we have to get onto that because it's been over 5 years. I know obviously it's yourself and Veronica. You guys work very much as part of a team, and Veronica very much welcomed you and to the broadcast team when you came in. I've got to say, because I know you will, what's the relationship like with Veronica backstage? Because there's a little harem of yous all together.
Well, it was like, I mean, back in the day, it was the three of us. So it would be Molly Spartan now, who you will know from the ring. But like a lot of people did know that she used to film and direct the backstage promos. So we were like, we legit were the Powerpuff Girls. Like, not only did we kind of like fit the build, like, but we were like, that was exactly our role. So that was like our kind of like our wee chat and our wee thing between us, like, because we are just like a wee, even though ICW is like a huge family, and it does, I always say that, and I know people think, like, roll their eyes and think, oh gosh, here she goes, she's getting all lovey-dovey about it and very Jen about things, but we are, like, I see it as a family. I feel as if I could go in there and speak to anybody, just get a wee cuddle off somebody and just chat, like, we're all very friendly, but that was our wee close, like, our wee kind of bubble, and now we've got Barry Crothers coming in, like, filming, and he is just fitted in, so well. Like, it's like,
I love Barry. Can I just say I fucking love Barry.
Veronica, like, I mean, you could forgive her for, when I just turned up, because when I started in ICW, I don't really think anybody really knew that I was going to be there. And then I kind of turned up and she just took me under her wing, and, she's looked after me and taught me so much about, like, her job, because she's so good at what she does. So it's something I'll forever be grateful to her for. Like, we're just family. I look up to her a lot.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we'll talk a little bit more about backstage just quickly, but I'm going to jump over to our pals, obviously, Kenny and company with Inside the Ropes. You were due to be doing some shows with them this week, and I don't know, you guys will have seen a lot of clips from Inside the Ropes featuring social media recently. We've seen some stuff coming from Wade Barrett. We've seen some Jim Ross stuff and some Paul Heyman stuff coming on. So this question has been sent in by our very Westy. Evening, Westy. Who's your ideal Inside the Ropes guest?
Right. Well, the sad thing about it is, like, I was supposed to have both of them, like, legit, and then big COVID-19 happened. So Trish, obviously, like, I'm a huge Trish Stratus mark. Like, I love her.
How do you not with those Clydesdale legs she's got.
Exactly, you know. But like honestly, like I was so excited to kind of hear her like perspective of things. I think as well coming from like she, for me anyway, in women's wrestling, she was the one who kind of like she changed it because she came in as one of the fitness models and then actually was like, and let's face it, in fact, she'd say herself she wasn't the best when she came in, but she absolutely turned it around. And I mean, if that's not an inspirational story, I don't know what is within wrestling. You know, she's been brought in for her looks and she could do, I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved all the stuff with like the Mr. McMahon and then Zombie Linda and all this. I mean, this is just, that's my wrestling. And I'm like, give me. But you know,
Zombie Linda.
How good was that, to be fair?
And like, how can you
How
forget?
good was that?
Do you want to see the funniest thing like in the world? Can you give me 2 seconds?
She's in the corner right now.
No.
It's Linda McMahon, ladies and gentlemen.
What is this?
I'm so curious. That's a smashing couch.
That's a lovely couch, actually. It's very nice.
Hey, look what somebody got me, and it sits pride of place on my fridge.
Oh my god!
A signed? Is that signed?
It's not signed, unfortunately.
Oh, Linda, get it signed.
I'm going to take it with me when I finally get to Mania, and I'll find a way to get Linda signed.
You heard it here first. Jen Louise is getting signed. You heard it here first. Jen Louise is getting signed.
There must be a way we can get you something signed by Linda McMahon. There must be, like, through the power of the internet.
I have tried. I've tried so much to get like just even like a nod from her. Like she's just so busy.
I do have to ask, and it's no disrespect to Linda McMahon, but why? Like, I'm just
surprised. I'm
just
surprised
why?
that intelligent man yourself, Simon, who's very like knows the wrestling business. I'm surprised you have to ask me that question.
I mean, the fact you're struggling to answer the question would seem
heel Jen. No, I like it. This is heel Jen. Putting the heat on you, Simon. Putting the heat on you.
That was me using some of my Linda political tactics. No.
Oh, I see.
No, she's honestly the best one. Like you could tell. The reason I love her. No, she was the best McMahon because you could tell that she was like really did not want to be an on-screen character. He was happy doing her business role, but the thing is, Vince actually made his wife like do these ridiculous things, sit through him like snogging another woman, a beautiful, gorgeous fitness model. You know, made her act like a vegetable, made her like daughter be a brat and push her about and shout abuse in her face and all this. Like, put that woman through hell, and she just went for it. And I'm like, well done, Linda. Like,
I like it.
She's game for anything. I mean, and don't get me wrong,
Amazing.
She's not the best on-screen character, right? She's not got the acting, the X factor that we're looking for, but that makes her more lovable because you can just tell that she was like, I need to do this for my family to make them happy. Love her.
So that's that's something we have to talk about. In my lifetime, I've seen such a change of. I want to say I hate using the phrase women in wrestling because we're just people at the end of the day, and thankfully, hopefully, that's where we are in 2020. But there has been a sort of gender realignment, almost, if you like, in terms of where it is in wrestling. You've even seen that in the 5 years that you've been involved with pro wrestling, Jen. Do you think, I've got to ask, in terms of on-screen and off-screen, is that role, is that equality, has it progressed to where it needs to be, or do we need to go a wee bit further?
It's a funny one, because in all honesty, I don't know if it will ever, in our lifetimes at least, be equal as much. Like, I don't know if, I know that sounds really negative, which is probably a bit of a shock, but like, I just think I'm a bad person to ask because back in the day when it was all these, I mean, you're like, your Miss Rumble 2000 and all that. I loved that segment as a kid watching it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that is genuinely quite sexist and insulting to women. But I was okay with that. Like,
yeah.
you know, but the thing is now, obviously, you've got things that are like the women are definitely more respected, and you can see that as a very quick transition, especially in the past. I would say maybe 3 years. Like,
No,
it's
I
really,
think that's fair.
but then when you see things like Evolution pay-per-view, you know, to me that was a gimmick, and it was actually it didn't fit the bill of making women. If anything, it segregated them even further.
Yeah, it's odd that it never. I see the fact they didn't continue with it, where it didn't become like integrated into their yearly program. Even as just a start, I understand they're trying to break down boundaries still today, but the fact it didn't become a regular thing was always like, but why?
But then is that not? I don't know. I think I'm maybe more on board with it. Let them main event. Like, if you want true equality,
oh yeah, of course,
the one show. Like, because then if you're going to have a women's only pay-per-view, then you should really, for fairness, have a men's only pay-per-view, and then you're opening up the people who don't identify as either. Like, you should have something like that. So I think
you're right. I don't think there's ever like a right answer to that, but the fact that in terms of you look at a lineup now and we're seeing the slotting in with progressions being made. I mean, obviously we see what's happening, you know, with other companies. We also see Nyla Rose, for example, who's rocking it over in AEW. Is fantastic. Just their whole division's pretty banging, to be honest. Apart from the Librarian, the gimmick shite. Sorry.
I know. The Librarian I'm not a fan of, but they've got like Chris Statlander, who's like one of my favorite women's wrestlers right now. So, and like I would do anything for her to come to ICW. I think she would fit in so well.
We'll get the checkbook out. I'm sure Scott's just been sick in his mouth right now. And what on earth are you talking about? Right, let's get some other questions up here. This one's Gareth Kennedy. Thank you, Gareth. Who is your favorite wrestler on ICW? That's not an easy one.
That's a dangerous question to answer, Jen. Not to get your anxiety up.
I tell you what. Instead of that question, Gareth, it's a great question, but let me rephrase it slightly. Give me 3 of your favorite matches in no particular order.
In no particular order?
No particular order. I don't want anyone. I know what folk are like. I'll get DMs at 4 in the morning.
To be fair, I'm like, oh my gosh. Right, okay, so... Right, for a nostalgia point, the Baramania like one main event, and that was Drew and Joe, was it? I think. Yeah, and then Damo came out and stole or like took the title. For me, that is like a huge, because I remember that was obviously my first ever shows, my first ever like working there anyway, because I'd been to like a few shows before, but it was my first ever like, you know, seeing the drama of it all. And like Damo came backstage, and then it was like I have to go and interview him, and I was like, I don't know, like I was so caught up in a moment for that, so that was huge. What else? The dog collar match at Shugs. That was wild. What else? In fact, is that the same Shugs that they had the Iron Man match with Jack Gallagher and Joe Coffey as well? Was that the same, or was that the year before? Or the year
no, that was the Shugs with the steel cage.
Yeah, that was the Shugs.
Sorry, okay. But that was class, that one. And then also, well, that's his 4. But like, I think.
Oh, that's fine. But that's the thing. You could go all night, couldn't you? It's one of those things. Oh man, I've missed the O2 already. Bloody hell. Jesus, right. Let's chill us up with a question I did not see. It's another one from Westy. Thank you, Westy. Total Davey with Davey Blaze. How much fun was that to film? The only time Jen has got aggressively physical with somebody when she slapped Davey right across the face.
Good.
Well, I also pushed Joe Hendry. That was another one.
I like that you still sound sorry about that. You still sound like you'd regret doing it. Apart from
opening the shows with me, how much fun is that?
Honestly, that was. I can't even see now. Even in my head, I'm like, that was just Davey. Is you guys know this, and I think enough people will probably follow Davey on like social media and know that he is just like that. He's just the stuff he comes out with, and that wasn't scripted. that show. It was like, obviously there's like a kind of natural progression of where you would like it to go, but it wasn't as if like say this, say that. Davey just hit out with that patter, and I was like, I can't. It was a very fun afternoon, and I felt so bad for that restaurant. I actually went in and apologized the next day.
Oh my god.
Because I felt like we made a mess with the poppadoms. But I went in to say thank you, because I was like, I was in yesterday, thanks very much. And I was like, sorry if I caused a mess, because I was trying to tidy up.
That might be the most Jen thing I've ever heard. That in a set up, agreed filming location, you felt the need to go back and apologise for filming in their establishment.
I wanted to say thank you more, but at the same time, I think my conscience was like, just say sorry for the poppadom thing.
I forgot all about Total Davey, which you can watch on ICW on demand. Make sure to check that out right now. Let me double check. We've got a couple more going on here. These questions we could literally talk about this all night. Tell you what, we the time here on ICW, I've got to ask about that. How has it been? And what's a good way of wording this question? See, when you get tagged in a post with Jen, right? Not one that you've done, but when you get tagged in a post with Jen, you come across some interesting cats, Jen. I think it would be polite to say, right? And how on earth do you deal with because I remember there was one video and clearly we are taking the piss out of each other, me and Jen, and this one guy was like, fucking dick, don't you ever talk to her that way again. And it was just like, and then I really upset the guy because I said really nasty things about him. But that's like, don't you worry about that, Jen, that's on me. But it's great that people are so enthusiastic, and obviously you are probably, I think, one of the best people at interacting with fans and interacting with other fans, should I say, because we're all fans at the end of the day, I think. How do you find that transition? How did you find that transition from being Jen to Jen Louise from ICW?
Weird. Like, I still get that. Like, it kind of doesn't, like, I don't know. It doesn't really, it's weird because I don't really feel different, because I'll still speak to people, because it was the same as when, before I joined ICW and I was on Twitter, and like if somebody would reply to something I'd said, I would always like try and speak to them back. Obviously now it's a bit more difficult, because especially on my Instagram, like I get a lot of messages on Instagram, like DMs basically, like, but not in
Can't imagine why, Jennifer.
But like, no, seriously, like, it's like, to be honest, you're saying that. See, I don't get like people being weird with me. People genuinely always just want to chat. And
No way.
No, seriously.
Jen, people are weird with me, and I look like this.
There must have. What's the worst DM you've ever received on any platform?
Right, one I want to tell you both, but I won't tell you because it's just not like in a pure bad way, but it's
hang on, I'm suddenly really nervous. Right, okay.
No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you like on this anyway, but I will tell you. But like, it was from somebody that we all know, like not in a personal level, but somebody that might be.
It was Hulk Hogan.
Just take out the name.
Just
take out the name.
I'm not. No.
Right.
Okay, right, no, I will. So, is he Hall of Fame? I don't think he is.
Go for it.
But
Kill Jen.
But I'm not going to say the name. So he messaged me.
It was Butch from the Bushwhackers.
It was not a bushwhacker, thank you.
Go beware.
No, it wasn't.
It was Drew Carey.
No, could you imagine?
Mike Tyson.
No. Anyway, stop guessing. Anyway, they messaged
Tatanka.
me. No. They messaged me and said, basically, they were like, oh, hi, just want to let you know that somebody's kidding on to be you and posting like dirty photos. And I was like, first of all, I'm like, why is this person from my childhood messaging me saying this? Second of all, like, what? And I was like, okay. And I was like, what's the profile so I can report it? And he was like, oh, I can't find it now. And he was like, but do you have? Like,
No.
Well, I mean, that's levels of shiteness I have ever.
I mean, that's
That is
That's a-
probably the worst thing I've ever got. Apart from like the odds, like unsolicited picture, like, but I don't get them often either, thank goodness. But honestly, I think people just want to say hi and chat to me, which I'm so grateful
That's
for.
nice. You know something? I'm genuinely delighted about that. I'm genuinely delighted about that. Because the number of pictures of guys' dicks I've been sent are ridiculous. No, I haven't. Only a couple, but Jamie's since apologised. Right. Let me.
That's shocking.
We've got another question for you. This is from Andy Woolley. I think I pronounced that wrong, Andy. I'm sorry. Great show, guys. My question is, which ICW venue has been your favourite to work at? Gutted. I will never get to go to the ABC, as are we all, mate. Honest to God. Do you know what the weirdest thing is? I was in that venue doing Cirque de Mort not long after we done the Square Go, and for the first time ever, I noticed the wooden ceiling. It was the first time I had ever even looked at it, and I honestly, I'd never know. I just never looked up. Why would I look up? Why would I look up that far?
Oh, why would you not?
I never noticed it.
Yeah.
And
To
then,
be fair, I never noticed it until they reported it in the news.
yeah, I never noticed it. And I go, God, I remember thinking, oh God, that's dangerous. And then obviously everything that happened. But it was also that way. It was like, I never thought that was going to be the last time I was going to be in that building. Do you know what I mean? Really, really heartbroken. And it's one of my favorites. What's some of your favorites, Jen?
Well, definitely the ABC, but for so many more reasons than ICW. I think ICW is obviously the first time that I was like backstage and I got to see the venue in a totally different light, which was exciting. But the amount of gigs I've been to in that venue, like amazing gigs. It's a huge place in my heart, like for it. I love it so much. Also, I loved being in Maryhill. I felt really honoured when we went there and did those shows. Because, do you know, that was a time before my time. Like, I wasn't watching ICW at that time either. And honestly, like, just being invited into that felt historic, and I felt really privileged to, like, be there for that. And also just, like, I don't know, like, I loved the SECC. Do you know that? Like, I loved it. Like, but I think that might have been more rather than the venue, I think that was more the buzz of it all and just the hype of it. Like, I love being at the Hydro because it's gorgeous and there's catering. You know. And I love the gallery.
The Hydro catering is an unsung hero of Fear and Loathing.
Well, there was, right enough. I always made sure to get to early. So I just
you're smart. I would go and I'd be like, anything vegan? And they were like, have a banana. And I'm like, okay.
Is chicken vegan? Fucking older. Right. It's our last chance, guys. We're getting ready for closing orders here on ICW Lockdown. We're getting ready to lock this down. We've nearly been on here an hour. So it's your final chance to get any last questions. Jen, you're going to come back and see us more. Please.
I don't know. To be fair, now that the wine's gone down, I'm actually feeling a bit.
Yes. So it's
because funny, Billy. We see when you were doing the intro and you were saying, "Oh my goodness!" Like you were saying all those horrible false things about me, about how I was horrible when I had a voodoo doll.
Fucking look, that's me. If you've ever seen a video.
There, Billy Kirkwood.
I've got my Jen voodoo doll right here, as you can see.
Oh my God, is that Bucky O'Hare?
Bucky O'Hare.
You know, see, when I wanted to be in a band, Billy, I wanted to come out to that. Wanted to be my entrance music. Bucky O'Hare.
Oh man, I'd fucking love that.
All I'm saying is, we could make that happen, Jen. We have the technology.
Do you think? Right. Oh, no, I couldn't give up Linda.
I mean, you could. You really could.
I tell you what, next time you come back, I'll make sure we've got Bucky O'Hare waiting for you. I promise. I give you my word. Right. Someone's just figured out I'm the guy from Cirque de Mort. Yes, I am. That's interesting. Right. All right. A couple of we do a couple of last questions. Why not? Who is the nicest inside the ropes guest you've worked with, Jen? Great show, guys. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Martin. Do you know what? I personally have never had a bad experience with anyone inside the ropes. Like as guests and like the talent that we've had. I think probably one of the best was Edge. Because we left that tour feeling like he was a pal. Like it was the weirdest thing. Like he would come and sit. So when we were traveling, we would travel by train, like up and down, and he was obviously in like first class. We were Titanic and steerage, like having a great time. We had the vodka and everything, and he would literally just come down and sit and be like, "Do you mind if I just sit with you guys?" And he would literally sit with us. And like, you know, on a cross-country train to like goodness where. He was so cool. So he was amazing. Paul Heyman was an absolute angel. Like I loved him. We ended up having so much banter. Like we would sit together at dinner and stuff. Like he was just so cool. And then Jericho as well. I loved Jericho because he was my guy in wrestling. Like he was the one that got me into it. So see, meeting him. For me that was huge. And then Foley as well. Like Foley's now my pal. Is your pal too?
Yeah, I know. I don't like to throw it around. Do you know what I mean? I don't like to throw it around. Wanted me to marry his daughter and I went, I'm fine. She'll have to marry Frank. She'll have to go with Frank.
Something that's kind of been swept under the carpet is Jen, you nearly caused beef between Kevin Nash and Mick Foley.
Oh my gosh, on my birthday. Do you remember that? Did you see that?
Yeah, that seems to be kind of swept under the rug. They were nearly coming to blows.
Exclusive, open the box. Let's hear it, guys. What's going on?
Did you see this, Billy?
I don't remember. No, if it was on social media, I probably ignored it because all I do is watch wrestling and look at pictures of like board games and shit. I'm a boring cut and Doug's.
Yeah, no, like that was so funny. Like I did not expect. So basically, what has happened? It was my birthday, just there in March. In fact, I'm the day after you, Simon.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, me and Simon, team lovable, are like nearly birthday twins as well. But
team cute as fuck now, mate. Team cute as fuck. That's what I'm saying. Team cute as fuck. Include me in something.
But yeah, so basically, I at that time our show, the Inside the Rope show with Trish Stratus, was still going ahead, and she posted something on the Inside the Ropes, on Instagram, and tagged Inside the Ropes, and I kind of look after the Inside the Ropes Instagram, so I had basically slid into her DMs by reposting something, and then she messaged me, and I was like, oh my god, I'm speaking to Trish, like actual Trish Stratus on my birthday. This is mental. So I've told her it was my birthday, and then she was like, happy birthday, I can't wait to meet you. And I was like, nearly died. So then I was on Twitter, and I was like, do you know, I've had the best day, and I was like, I'm not going to post it because it was on a business page, and I went, but I legit, if I just had a happy birthday from Trish Stratus. And then she retweeted that and commented and went, we'll have one here as well, happy birthday. And I was like, what's going on? And then from that, Kevin Nash like messaged me or like tweeted me and was like, happy birthday, Jen. And I was like, oh, big sexy, what's going on? And then Mick Foley sent me a video saying happy birthday. And then Mick Foley and Kevin Nash started getting into like a kind of, oh, you trying to one-up me by sending a video singing? So then it was basically caused like a wee Twitter feud. And yeah, I was sitting there going, I don't know what to do. Just kept liking it.
and then Linda McMahon sent you a video of her doing the robot dance, and it was just there going, happy birthday to you.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be fucking amazing. Right, a couple of last things before we get out here. Very quickly, don't forget you can see everything Jen is doing here on ICW on ICW On Demand, or should I say ICW on the app. That's right. Insane Championship Wrestling now has its very own app. You can see everything that's going on. You can see the back catalogue, all ICW social media. Go and check it out right now. And don't forget, we have added even more content from ICW's past and from other wrestling companies around the world, including CCW. We've also got the best of the Kevin Steen show, whoever that is, the best of John Moxley, he's John Moxley again. And loads of stuff on there as well. Recently, we've had best of Wolfgang, best of God, we've had so many, best of BT Gunn, best of Kelly Ray, loads of stuff on there. Make sure to check that out. All ICW's big shows, and I really like to call them pay-per-views because we're fucking old school like that. And I dare you to challenge us, and make sure to check all that out as well. Right, before we get out here, we've got a couple of last wee things. First of all, Bobbin's been in touch. Bobbin's been in touch. Jen, when she's in a casino, will pick the numbers that make her feel pretty. One Simon and I, 60 quid.
Simon, do you remember that?
That was ages ago now. But
That was like
but the
4
number
years ago.
but the number of people that I've still told the story of literally at the roulette table going, right, Jen, what am I betting on here? And you just so casually leaned over and went, just pick the ones that make you feel pretty. And just started throwing chips around the table, and then won. And it was like, well, why does number 12 make you feel pretty? And it was like, and your actual response was, oh, because look at it. I was like, what does that mean?
See, this is what I mean. There's a darkness. There's a darkness.
Oh my
There's a
god.
darkness. There's a story here. Any minute now, I'm waiting for that one day I went, yeah, you knew her as Jen Louise, but she was otherwise known as the Pigeon. And then just a list of folk who she skinned.
My favorite part was the legitimate gamblers in the casino getting so obviously raging because you were going between like 3 different tables at the same time. You were just kind of floating around, chucking money at things and winning.
That was the same time as well that I went over because there was a wee dealer playing, like, I can't remember what game it was, but I didn't know how to play it. And I was like, can you just teach me? So he was like, he was like, I'm not really supposed to, but he gave me a free lesson. And I was like, thanks so much.
I mean, we should probably put out the game was blackjack. Like,
Right, so join ICW Poker Night, hosted by Jen Louise. Right, let's get a couple more questions before we get out here, guys. What's your thoughts the first time you heard Jim Ross? Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon, Ross. I was just thinking I got wrong Ross there for a second. He's amazing, actually. I fucking love Ross. What's your thoughts the first time you heard Ross from Cultaholic do your accent for that intro? I've heard it, and I'll be honest, I think he's nailed it. All the things I've said, and that was because I know you're not happy about it. I thought it's a bit of fun, and I know the guys down there at Cultaholic absolutely love you as well. What was your thoughts then of the first time Ross did it?
To be honest, right, so I didn't know, right, so it's been a funny accent thing with me and Ross because I always do like an Essex accent and it really freaks him out because he just thinks he doesn't understand how it's a voice like that coming out of me because he's so used to my accent. And my accent in Cultaholic or on YouTube anyway has been the source for much debate because people can't understand me. People think it's too thick. People don't like my accent.
God, I did a thing for the Stand recently and people go, God, his accent's terrifying. This is people in America. His accent is terrifying. Terrifying.
Oh my, to be fair, I've never been called terrifying, but like I do get the whole like it's disgusting, like her accent and all this kind of things. Or people being like, oh, she's dead really nice until she opens her mouth, and I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, cheers.
Finally, someone said it. No, it's like, sorry, sounds like she's tried to sell me heroin. I saw it, man. It's fucking, don't even get me started. And you should see the abuse Simon gets. People are always dead nice about your ring announcing though, Simon, I think. People are always
I think it's because I don't sound Scottish.
You do.
I got someone say that once, like, but when I put on the ring announcing voice, like, yeah, it's good because you don't sound Scottish. And I was like, I don't think you realise that that's an insult. What you've just said is a compliment. Like, because this is my voice.
Well, the thing, like when I did that Essex one, everyone was like, "Oh, that's disgusting! Don't do that." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I can't win now." Like, so it was just funny. Like when he did it, he didn't tell me or anything. He did it, and then I one day woke up my phone because it was after the podcast like that they do, which goes out on a Friday. And one Friday, my phone just started going bananas, and I was like, "What is this?" And I just saw it, and I literally just messaged him, and I was like, "Are you funny? Are you trying to be funny?" It's just like,
wow.
I'm so funny. But he was like, "I'm so sorry," and I was like, "No, I love it. It's so hilarious." And then the next time I went down, we were laughing, so I was like, "We should do a video where it looks like I'm actually singing it, like to say that it's not actually you." So we did do that, and it was just supposed to be for like us to have a banter, and then he put it on his Twitter, and it just everybody was like, "Oh!" So funny. I love it. And it makes me, do you know what? As much as it's poking fun at me, it makes me feel part of the team more. Like, because they all make fun of each other. And, you know, why should I be any different? So I love it.
We all love the guys down at Curtaholic, but if they ever hurt you, you let me fucking know.
Don't you
Right.
worry. I'll be telling.
Because I will then get Simon to go down on a bus.
Wait a minute. I'm the muscles.
Right,
I've got this
Jen,
one way round.
Jen, you've got
Jen.
this. Go, Jen.
Jen,
get
if I
them.
give you a hard time, you just fucking deal with them, hen. The Ripper is coming. Right, last question. We're going to give this to our pal, Carl Robinson. What's been your favourite experience being a part of ICW so far?
Favorite experience, and this is going to sound like such a Disney answer or something, but honestly, it's just meeting all the people that I have. And I have, through ICW, like it shouldn't, not that it shouldn't have happened, but it happened so randomly for me to get involved. And from thinking of that day 5 years ago when, you know, this was just a chat, and then I ended up into it, and now I've got some of the best friends I've ever had in my life. I've had some of the most amazing. I've traveled with it. I've met some of my heroes from when I was a kid, and I've just been looked after. And if anything, it's just given me a whole different path in life that I never thought I could ever achieve. That has been the best experience.
God, she's too good for us, Simon. I mean, it's just like, do you know what I mean? It's
It's so true. I'm so grateful.
fucking hell, man. It's like, it makes me feel like a horrible person just every. It's like, do you know what I mean? Simon, he's a lovely glass of milk. You're like, you know, you're like champagne or something. I'm just fucking fox spit in a puddle. That's all I am.
No,
Right.
Team F is cute as
Yes! Yes! Right. Finally, before we finish up, thank you for that question, Carl. That was such a nice one to finish with as well. She could have said opening the shows with me and Simon, but she didn't, and that's fine.
Part of it because you two are my friends.
You've put me over. You've put us over enough. We both appreciate that. We both.
I disagree.
Fair enough, Simon. Simon's kicking off, everyone. Right. Finally, Jen. Well, stay tuned because the last thing I'm going to show you when we sign off is I am going to show you in its entirety, never before seen on ICW social media, is the unseen extended version because so many people asked for it. Jen trying to calm me down with this fucking wee hand, which I believe is banned from ICW shows as a result. But before we get to that, one more time, make sure to check out everything that's happening with ICW. A couple of things you want to see really, really quickly is obviously times are uncertain just now, but we really appreciate all the support here at Insane Championship Wrestling. Make sure to go and visit icwshop.com. Loads of merchandise. I'm sure there's a team fucking cute t-shirt, fucking cute as fuck, or whatever the fucking our faction name is. T-shirt coming any day now. Make sure to check that out. You can do that over there. Obviously, we can still buy tickets for events coming up. Details about that happen on a daily basis over at ICW social media. So make sure to check us out. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, probably got a LinkedIn somewhere. I don't know, probably do. Make sure to check that out. And of course, everything that's going on in ICW On Demand. Do you know for a couple of pounds you get access to a huge library of ICW content going all the way back? It's just a couple of quid. It's the price. It's the price of a pint. It's the price of a pint. I think maybe a wee bit more than a pint. Well, if it's in Edinburgh, it's the price of half a pint. So make sure to go across and buy that. We would love to hear from you. And make sure to get in touch. We love hearing from you at Sane Championship Wrestling because we hope during these times you're looking after yourself, both physically, your loved ones, and up here as well, particularly this week, which is Mental Health Awareness Week, which is very important to everyone here at Insane Championship Wrestling. All right, Jen, where can people get in touch and check out what you're doing on social media? Because I know you do unboxings and you do loads of other stuff yourself. You are the princess of, I nearly said Princess Diana of social media, but I'll take that right back. Where can people find out everything that's going on for you, Jen? Where is your social medias?
So to be honest, the ones I use are Twitter and Instagram, and you can find me at _Jen Louise _. Like Billy said, if you want to see everything for ICW, head to like the ICW, download the app. The app's amazing. Yep. So exciting. And ICW On Demand if you want to watch things there. Also the YouTube, make sure you subscribe to that. And Cultaholic as well. I will be back there obviously once this is all over. Cool.
Put in a word for me. Would you put in a word? Put in a word. Thank you. Put in a word. That's all I'm going to say. Put in a word. Put in a word. Finally, Simon, Mr. One Fall himself. Where can people find out details about what you've got going on as well, Simon, of course?
At the moment, mainly on @Simon_Cassidy1, just across social media. And you can also grab these lovely Tinfoil Hat Club t-shirts and many others. We'll talk. Over at Pins and Knuckles merch. But,
all right. Well, on behalf of me, Simon, and Jen, do you want to do like a director's commentary over this footage? Would this be an interesting way to finish this?
Yes.
Because we can actually do that.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, I tell you what.
I don't know if I can relive it. You'll just hear internal screaming from me.
All right, give me just 1 second. This is the first time we did this because I fucked it up last week. So let me see if I can get it. So I'll make it go quiet for a second, but then I will bring them on here.
You can't hold the rope to get down.
This is so weird.
Just so people know, the mute isn't working. So we'll come back at the end.
I did not think that's how that Sunday was going to be.
Alright. Oh, fuck.
He actually buckled. This is the best part.
This is never fucking happened. I mean, I don't find any of my shit funny. Right, let's get this started. Are you ready?
I'm so creeped out.
Everybody in the house say, well. Alright, it's me.
You're going to bring an arm, baby.
I can't see.
Should we get this started? On the count of 3. ICW, right? 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, it is 2019. We are on the road to the square goal. Can't do it again. Right. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live from Glasgow, baby! Ladies and gentlemen, what a night of pro wrestling we've got.
Right, I think we have to end the pain there. Because I actually can see how upset I'm getting during that. I can
It's
actually,
so
you
funny.
literally see me going, ah! And it's like, oh my God.
I forgot you couldn't hold the rope to jump down. I forgot about that bit.
And I'm an old man, guys. All I've got to say is just me and Finn are doing that jump now. Do you know what I mean? Guys, this has been an absolute blast. Jen, we have to do this again.
We will. Thank you so much for asking me. You know that I put up a fight about it.
You did.
But honestly, I had so much fun. Thank you.
We put in a call to Linda McMahon, and she managed to talk you into doing it for us. And we really appreciate that. We just hope you stay safe, and we will see you very soon.
Definitely.
All right, guys, I'm just going to sign us off here. That's all we've got time for on this episode of ICW Lockdown. We're going to be back next Thursday, hopefully, and we will see you again. Shall we all do the wave? Shall we do the wave? Bye-bye.
Where's your wee hat?